My project aims to help people understand how homes were stolen from aspiring Black homeowners in the 50s and 60s. We are around living history. You can't make up what happened to this home. It has a direct connection to a racist housing policy. They were sold their home on a land sale contract. They were lied to and told it was a mortgage. And they didn't find out until they missed a payment and were forced to get out. This is the inequity that Black people in neighborhoods in Chicago talk about. John Garner is one of those individuals that paid a down payment, thought he had a mortgage, and had no rights, no equity, nothing. Just imagine if they actually did own their home.
Wow, so they took the home from him, huh?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. They didn't give him a mortgage. He thought he had a mortgage. So
how can you own a home without a mortgage?
Through land sale contracts, but you don't really own it. So that's what I'm talking to him about. So yeah, you could, I gotta answer a question, so you could listen, and it'll kind of explain it.
I don't get it. There's got to be something wrong. I mean, I've dealt with houses all my life, but I've never heard of nothing like that where people could just walk in and take the house. No.
Well, listen to what I'm about to say, and then it'll kind of make sense. The neighborhoods that we hear on the news around gun violence, school closures, and everything else, Greater Inglewood, Garfield Park, Lawndale, those are the exact neighborhoods that had the devastating experience of land sale contracts.
The kids in the footwork culture now are, the byproduct of that historical theft, right? And so the trauma that they've inherited, they don't necessarily understand. I mean, they know like in their face, this is why I'm traumatized, right? Like, Dirk talks about, 8 people in grandma crib. Well, that's because many of those generations of family members were locked out of homeowning opportunities.
Footwork culture, for me, is such a beautiful demonstration of the resilience and the creativity that is still born out of people who experience all of these injustices.
It was boundaries set up, invisible boundaries set up in the city of Chicago. The red line is a boundary / Dan Ryan Expressway. That's a boundary. All of the freight trains that's going around these certain neighborhoods are boundaries. Now everything is kind of blurred, but back then you couldn't go in these certain neighborhoods because you would get beat up or possibly killed.
I noticed that the way that our houses are shaped in our community, the space within the houses, the fact that all of the houses are bunched up, that's prison. When you look at the project buildings, when you look at the row houses, it's house on house on house on house on house. This is all one cage. And you have all of these different mentalities basically locked in this cage, fighting for survival, fighting to find some type of place to get out. We boxed in the hood. It's closed in. That's the intimate part. It's very intense. All of the energy is focused right in here. It's like the eye of the storm, like a tornado. We doing all this. The whole round.
in this area, it was so secluded for me. Like, I only knew this area. You got my elementary school straight down here. So it's like elementary school here and my high school straight down here. It's just Austin High School. So it's like both of these community schools. So it's like from leaving from here, walk there, and then to drop my sisters off at school and walk down here to this way. So it's like I ain't had no choice but to be like, I gotta make this my domain. And like I'm very known here.